There's a specific kind of person who hits the goal, gets the thing they worked for, and feels nothing. Not celebration, not pride, just a flat, quiet emptiness that doesn't match the moment. You got the promotion. You finished the project. You ticked every box on the list you made 6 months ago. And for about 48 hours, it felt good. Then the feeling faded. And the next morning, you were already scanning for the next thing. If that's you, if you keep achieving and keep feeling empty afterward, there's a name for what's happening, and it has nothing to do with being ungrateful. Maybe it showed up after a big milestone. You graduated, got the job, moved to the city you'd been planning for. Everyone around you was celebrating, and you were standing there thinking, is this it? Or maybe it's quieter. You finish something at work, something good, and by the evening, the satisfaction has already drained out. You're back at the mental drawing board, planning the next project, because sitting still with what you've done feels wrong. And here's the part you probably haven't told anyone. Sometimes you wonder if something is actually broken in you, because other people seem to enjoy their wins. They rest, and you can't work out why you're already running again before the last finish line has even cooled. If you recognize yourself in any of that, there's a reason for it. So why does success feel empty? Why does reaching the thing you worked for leave you more restless, not less? Because your brain was never chasing the goal. It was chasing the feeling it believed the goal would bring. And when that feeling doesn't arrive, or arrives and disappears within hours, the system doesn't question itself. It moves the target further out and tells you to keep going. Psychologists call this the arrival fallacy, and once you can see it, the whole pattern starts to make sense. The arrival fallacy is a term coined by Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, a positive psychology researcher at Harvard. It describes the belief that reaching a specific goal will bring lasting happiness. The problem isn't the goal itself. The problem is the contract you've made with yourself. When I get there, I'll feel okay. When I earn that, I'll finally relax. When I prove this, I'll stop doubting myself. But the contract never pays out, because what happens when you arrive is something researchers call hedonic adaptation. Your emotional system adjusts to the new reality within days, sometimes weeks. The thing that felt extraordinary becomes your new normal, and normal doesn't feel like enough. There was a well-known study by Brickman and Campbell that looked at lottery winners, people who had won between $50,000 and $1 million. Within months, they were no more satisfied with their lives than a control group who hadn't won anything. The windfall became the baseline. The thrill disappeared. This isn't just about money. It applies to promotions, qualifications, milestones, body goals, and sometimes desired relationships. The arrival never delivers what the anticipation promised. Now here's the part most people miss. For high achievers, the arrival fallacy isn't just about chasing goals. It runs deeper. It's about identity. Why it happens. Jennifer Crocker, a psychologist at the University of Michigan, spent years studying what she calls contingencies of self-worth, the specific areas where people stake their sense of value as a person. Her research found something that will sound familiar if you're the kind of person watching this. When people base their self-worth on achievement, their self-esteem spikes on the days they succeed and crashes on the days they don't. Not gradually, sharply. The good feelings after a win are real, but they're borrowed, and the payback comes fast. This is why the goalposts keep moving. Not because you're ambitious, not because you're driven, but because your identity is wired to a system that only lets you feel okay while you're achieving. The moment you stop, the self-worth drops, so you don't stop. And if you've ever wondered why you can't enjoy the win, why you skip from "I did it" to what's next without pausing, this is the mechanism. Achievement has become the way your nervous system manages how you feel about yourself. What happens in your brain? Your brain treats self-worth like a resource it needs to protect. When your identity is built on achievement, every goal becomes a safety behavior. Reaching it briefly signals, you're okay, you're enough. But your brain adapts to that signal. The same achievement that produced relief last month produces nothing this month, so the system demands a bigger target, more proof. Detty and Ryan, the psychologists behind self-determination theory, found that people who pursue extrinsic goals like status and approval report lower well-being than people who pursue intrinsic ones like growth, connection, and meaning, even when they achieve the extrinsic goals. The achievement happens. The well-being doesn't follow. This is not a character flaw. It is a pattern your nervous system learned. And like all learned patterns, it can be interrupted. Reset 1. The Worth Audit. Write down the 5 things that currently make you feel like a worthwhile person. Don't overthink it. Just notice what appears. Now look at the list. How many are about what you do, produce, or achieve? And how many are about who you are when you're not doing anything? Most high achievers find the list is almost entirely performance-based. The job title, the output, the reputation, that's the pattern made visible. Your self-worth is stored in a single account, achievement, and when that account empties, you feel empty. Not because you are empty, but because your worth system only has one source. The audit won't fix this on its own, but it shows you where the vulnerability sits, and that changes what you do next. Reset 2. The arrival. Rewrite. The second reset targets the sentence that keeps the whole pattern alive. The arrival fallacy runs on one sentence structure. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I get promoted. I'll feel enough when I hit that number. I'll relax when this phase is over. The rewrite. Take whatever you're currently chasing and ask, what about working toward this could I value right now? Not later, now. Ben Shahar calls this the pre-goal attainment positive effect, the satisfaction available in the doing, not just the arriving. This isn't about giving up ambition. It's about unhooking your happiness from a future moment that won't feel the way you've imagined and enjoying the journey instead. Reset 3. The Stillness Test. The third reset is a little harder than the first 2, but worth trying. Set a timer for 20 minutes. Sit somewhere quiet. Don't work, don't scroll, don't plan, don't produce. What comes up is information. If stillness feels uncomfortable, if your brain immediately generates tasks, plans, or guilt, that tells you something. It tells you achievement isn't just something you do, it's something you use to manage anxiety, to feel safe, to keep the self-worth account from emptying. Right now, as I describe this, notice if something tightened. A resistance. An urge to skip ahead. That's the pattern recognizing itself. You're not trying to enjoy the stillness. You're trying to notice what it reveals about what the constant doing is protecting you from. More than likely, it is the uncomfortable feeling in your body when you feel unsafe. Once you identify it, it is time to get familiar with it to overcome it. You're not ungrateful. Your worth system needs more than one input. Next time, we will be talking about how the generation you grew up in shaped your overthinking. If this felt like something you needed to hear, the next one will too. Subscribe so it finds you. Watch one of the videos showing on the screen for more information about breaking your overthinking patterns. I'll see you there.